I'm Tim Murphy of the Providence Journal. Rhode Island's next governor will face daunting challenges. How can voters decide who's the best person for the job? To help answer that question, we've partnered with the Hassenfeld Institute for Public Leadership at Bryant University and Rhode Island PBS in a project we call Job One Leadership. As part of the project, we're asking all the candidates for governor 6 specific questions about their leadership skills and ideas. Each Sunday for 6 weeks, beginning May 4th, we'll post videos of the interviews on our website, providencejournal.com. Here's what they said. In recent years, Rhode Island's unemployment rate has consistently been among the highest in the country. As governor, how would you lead people in groups with competing interests toward a plan to get people back to work and good jobs?
Well, the first thing I want to do is make sure that people start understanding that I think the philosophy we've had in our state, the idea that we are going to bring someone in to save Rhode Island is wrong. Rhode Islanders are going to save Rhode Island. And as we look at some of the biggest companies that we have in our state, Hasbro and Alex and Ani at CBS, they're all homegrown talent. And we need to make sure that we continue to support Rhode Islanders because ultimately we are going to be the ones who are going to lead us out of the economic challenges that we face. And I look forward to doing that as the next governor.
We have to start right at where the root cause of our unemployment problem is. And the root cause is we're not competitive with our neighboring states economically. Massachusetts is a lower cost place to do business than Rhode Island is. And as long as that dynamic stays in place, we're going to lag in employment and we're going to suffer because businesses find it too easy to do business there as opposed to doing business here. To tackle that issue, we have to identify the worst of the taxes that we have. Unemployment insurance, corporate tax rate. There are specific things that we can attack that will pull it all together. But even more importantly than that is the way we govern ourselves is a disincentive to business. Master lever, a very opaque legislative process. These are not practices that business looks at and says, I want to be there. So we have to tackle both the tax piece and the reform piece to pull together a package that becomes appealing to business.
It is unacceptable that Rhode Island has the highest unemployment rate in the country. I've lived here my whole life. I ran a business here. I'm raising my children here. I'm committed to Rhode Island, and it hurts me every day to think about the tens of thousands of Rhode Islanders who are out of work. We need a governor who's going to act with urgency to bring people together to move the state forward. And we need to hit on all cylinders at once. I have put out a comprehensive jobs plan that calls for investments in infrastructure, that calls for workforce development engines, that calls for streamlining our regulatory framework, that calls for Rhode Island's government to reach out to business, to ask them how we can help you and support you. And critically important, we need to do all of this. No silver bullets, no gimmicks, no shortcuts. We need a governor committed to fundamentally reinvigorating this economy and getting people back to work.
9% unemployment is completely unacceptable. A prolonged recession is what Rhode Island is in. It's time we call that for what it is. I'm proposing a commerce revolving fund, utilizing, diversifying our all Wall Street investment portfolio. Gives us the opportunity to diversify from that, create a commerce fund for Rhode Island. I'm talking about $200 million for small businesses, $200 million for property owners. I'm talking about kicking off an infrastructure fund so that we can be on a sustainable funding formula for the roads and bridges here in the state. That supports jobs at all levels of our economy in every community, and that's exactly what I'm focused on.
And where would this money specifically come from?
Folks say, you're taking it from pension reform. No, we're not taking it. We're a diversification of an all Wall Street investment portfolio. Commodity-based investments, it's a win-win. It's interest earned for the state, and it gives property owners and small businesses that mobility that they need, that they can't find in the marketplace.
We need to tackle the jobs crisis with urgency. The next governor needs to make this his or her first priority, and that is absolutely what I will do. Beginning, not at the day of inauguration, but beginning at the election, working with different sectors, different stakeholders, because as you point out, there are a lot of divergent interests. And the key to getting this done is actually bringing them to the table. I think we saw, for example, Governor Bruce Sunland was able to work with different types of people in a time of economic crisis. And I believe I'll be able to do that as well. Number one, making sure that we are investing in our roads and our infrastructure, because that will create jobs. Number two, making sure that we're making it competitive for people to start businesses. Number three, making sure that we are investing in the skills that people need to get jobs now and across the board. Making sure that we have integrity in government, because right now people have lost faith in the state government, and it makes it very hard to grow as an economy when people believe it matters more who you know than what you know.
It's extremely disappointing that we have so many people out of work in our great state of Rhode Island, and that's why I'm running for governor. We've had a track record in Cranston, the third largest city, of working with our employers, where during my 3 terms as mayor, we've helped get a lot of people back to work. In fact, over 1,000 new jobs where we've personally worked with employers in the city and outside to bring in new jobs into the city. That's what has to happen on a statewide level too, and that's why I announced a $200 million tax reduction plan that's going to send a message, a strong message to employers not only here but outside the state, that we're serious and open for business. Next, we have to make sure that we cut through the red tape like what we've done in Cranston, working with the employers, and that starts at the top with the chief executive being the partner, picking up the phone and dealing with CEOs, whether it's the ones that are here to the ones outside the state, and that's how we're going to create a better business environment.